You and I recently, but curious if there's anything you want to add in here.
Yeah.
Recently transitioned to a branch manager position.
Yep.
Both you and I together. People told us it couldn't be done, co-branch managing, but we're doing it. And we still like each other. That's great.
Most days, yeah.
Most of the time. What's been like some things that you've learned kind of transitioning in, like maybe expectations for what that looks like and maybe reality? Like anything you want to share or anything on that?
Man, that's a great question. I underestimated how challenging it would be to produce and manage at the same time. Because obviously producing is where we make our money, right?
Yep.
But we obviously also need to manage and be sure everyone that is in our branch is in a good spot, right?
Yep.
So that's taken some balance, and that's why I'm super grateful to have you.
For sure. Likewise.
Just because I can't imagine it all being on my shoulders. We hired an operations manager who's been incredible, and we've got really good employees, thankfully. But that I feel like that for me was probably the biggest adjustment. It's just the almost having to be selfish to a certain degree, right, and really focus on time blocking and really focus on I can get distracted with a whole bunch of other things that aren't going to bring the branch profit or me money.
Yeah.
Or I can focus on, what I do best. Right. So I feel like that took a while to kind of dial in. But
Yeah.
What do you think?
Sitting here thinking like, do I share this or not? But I will.
we can cut it if it's bad.
So the branch is in a really good place and we're profitable every month and everything's in good shape on there. So that's not what caused this issue. It's just balancing out on there. Remember one month where I was paying the bills, and apparently you can't do electricity on auto pay when it's a commercial building. So the lights went out. Had a realtor coming in in 30 minutes. That. We're like, oh man, the power's out. So we went next door. Their power's fine, and the other store, their power's fine. And he came in. He
was like month 2, wasn't it? Yeah, we were really building confidence.
Yeah, just happened. I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? But we got our ops manager to pay it now, so now that the lights stay on.
Yeah.
So that's good. No, I think balancing, Denise, who's in our division, she was talking about it on the call. I think it's really easy to kind of get sidetracked from the sales activities that we need to be doing that do generate revenue for our family.
Yep.
With things to optimize and tweak for the branch and to better the process. And it's kind of similar, if you are just a loan officer, it's kind of similar to that, but it's on steroids.
Yeah.
Like that's how I envision it. Like as a loan officer, I have to balance my systems and my process. I'm a big systems guy. So I would just bang my head against the wall on system stuff and then forget like, oh crap, I do need to go get people, right?
Yeah.
Go lead generate. And I thought it was just going to be that for the branch manager, but there's so much more stuff to do.
For sure.
I mean, it's just an endless list,
Yeah.
So I think just stuff like that, just balancing and making sure, like you said, to just lead generate and prospect and do all those things to bring in sales.
Yeah. I think the other thing I found out, I think it's a learning lesson for even loan officers, right? I think people's first reaction is to reach out to management, whatever that is, right? Whether if you're a loan officer, whether that's your branch manager, if you're a processor, whether that's your operations manager. But I think not responding right away if it's not an emergency, I think I've learned that most people figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? And it's almost like a safety blanket that once they realize you're not getting instant response, they figure it out. Now that doesn't mean if something's on fire, right? Like just be like, oh, they'll figure it out.
Let it burn.
Yeah. But I do think a lot of questions that get asked don't necessarily need to be answered, and they can be figured out. So
yeah,
that was a learning lesson as well.
For sure.